Hi there, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Caro, your health coach. I am so happy that you decided to log in and to join me on this episode, because today we have something in store for our men, and I know our sisters will learn in the process. Thank you so much for joining me as we talk about the prostate gland. Prostate gland. I know most people have heard about prostate cancer because the awareness is increasing. But then before we get to that point, let us understand, what is this prostate gland? I hope and I pray that you're healthy, that you're keeping healthy, and that you're observing everything that you put in your mouth and what you feed your mind with, because that is what keeps us healthy. That was just a by the way. And as we continue, allow me to remind you to subscribe to our channel, to like this video, and also share with your friends so that we can learn together. This is where we look at all the natural resources that we have and see how well can we work with them for ultimate health. So today we are talking about the prostate gland. This is an organ that our men have been blessed with. It is a very small walnut. It's a walnut size organ that God placed somewhere in between your testicles, and this is a gland that is very important in men reproductive health, and that is why we have to talk about it, because it helps us understand men fertility, a topic that we will have a discussion on about infertility, fertility in men, and we will understand why we needed to have this episode to understand about the prostate gland. So this organ is wonderful because this is where the sperms and the semen production takes place. The semen is the fluid that carries the sperms direct to during ejaculation, direct to the woman's birth canal and up to the fallopian tubes where fertilization takes place. So semen is something that is very important. Of course, we want sperms, quality sperms. Sperms are life. So if we don't have the prostate gland, if the prostate gland health is interfered with, if the prostate gland is not functioning properly, it means then that we are posing a danger to not just ourselves, but to our generations, because we'll not be able to reproduce. That is why it is very, very important for us to ask ourselves, so this prostate gland, why, how do we keep it healthy? What is its function? I know you could have met a man or your father or your uncle or your neighbor who in their old age was told that they have an enlarged prostate gland, one of the major issues that men in their old ages are experiencing. I'm sure you have also met or you've heard of a man who has gone through prostate cancer. So this is something that is not so new to us. And I know for you, our viewer, you could be wondering, what is this prostate gland that we talk about? So this prostate gland, it is an organ, as we said, that it's an organ that helps in the production of, this is where the semen and the sperms are produced. We need to keep it healthy. How do we keep this gland healthy? How do we ensure that it does not enlarge in our old ages? Is there anything we can do to prevent the enlargement? Is there anything we can do to prevent the prostate cancer? Some of the myths that we have listened to, I will tackle one myth before the end of this show so that you can tell me whether you've heard about that myth, and I will be able to tell you the biological or the scientific explanation of that myth. So remember that for a man, since, you know, I think when they are 12, they start producing sperms. So the sperm production, it's like, literally, it's like a factory where there's always, you know, in the beginning of the years, there's mass production of sperms, and in and out, almost daily, a young man is able to produce sperms. And so it means they have semen. That would explain why some men experience wet dreams in their young ages. The body is trying to understand what is happening. And as the man continues to grow in their 30s, going to 40s, maybe, the sperm production goes down. And this is because of either the psychological factors, the environmental factors, and such things. So also because this man is growing old. At 40 going up, the prostate gland becomes a bit slow in the production. Because remember, a man is never infertile. He can produce sperms anytime, any day. Just the strength of the sperm, just the quality of the sperms, and also the number of, like, how much time are they producing these sperms. So the prostate gland continues working. Let us look at the prostate gland enlargement. I know some men have gone to hospital and they've been told they have prostate gland enlargement. Some doctors will call it BPH. It has different names. There's another name that I can't remember. Don't worry about the names. Let's just know that it's when the prostate gland enlarges and it starts growing. It becomes bigger than the normal size. So when we're talking about the enlarged prostate gland, it does not mean that you have cancer. Instead, it is actually a benign. You remember that when we're talking about cancer, we talk about malignancy and benign. Malignancy is when the tumor has cancerous cells, and benign, it doesn't have cancerous cells. So in this case, when you're talking about enlarged prostate gland, we mean that the prostate gland is benign, like it's nothing cancerous. So that's the first thing. Don't worry about it. If you have been identified, you've been diagnosed with enlarged prostate gland, please don't worry. Do not run away from, do not be scared that it's cancer. At the same time, the first symptoms of prostate cancer is an enlarged prostate gland. So what I'm saying is, when you experience an enlarged prostate gland, it is good for you to seek medical advice so that they can be able to use maybe an ultrasound or whatever machine that they have, so that they can be able to zoom in and see if whatever is happening is malignant or benign. Okay, so the first reason why we need to go to hospital when we have an enlarged prostate gland is to separate, to just rule out the cancer. Most men will experience enlarged prostate gland in their old age, and it is reversible. It is reversible if it is caught early. So some of the symptoms of the enlarged prostate gland is when you feel you really want to urinate, you feel the urgency of going to pass urine. Then when you get there, it's either painful or it is delayed, or you just get some little bit of urine. Then you feel like you're not done, but it's not coming out. Then you leave the urinal. Then a few minutes later, you feel like you want to urinate again. So most men, most of our brothers, the way we are created, it's very interesting that we only run to hospital when it is finally late. And we rarely tell someone what we are going through. So if you are a brother out there and you're experiencing this, it's good to check, because it's not always that you will have an enlarged prostate gland. You could also have a urinary infection, because remember, let's call it the pipe. For now, we'll call it the pipe. The pipe that passes your urine is the same that passes the semen and the sperms. So you cannot know really, is it a urinary infection, or is it the prostate gland that has a problem? Because remember, where the prostate gland is, it's in between your testicles and right next to the urethra. And so if it swells, whenever it swells, it will block the urethra, and that explains why the first symptom of enlarged prostate gland is the urinary issues, the problems with passing urine. Okay, so now the other symptom of an enlarged prostate gland is when now it's a bit enlarged, you will keep passing urine, especially at night. Especially at night, you feel like you're trying to sleep, you can't sleep well, you keep going to the toilet. Some people, the first reaction is, I am getting diabetes, because I know we will have a session to look at diabetes, but one of the symptoms of diabetes is when you keep passing urine. But remember, when your prostate gland is swollen, you feel the urgency of going to the toilet. You will go and pass some little bit of urine, and then you'll still have the urge. Then you'll go back again and again and again. So how do you differentiate that from the diabetes, the urine that you get during diabetes? The one for diabetes is that you pass the urine as often as possible, and you're not having like difficulties passing that urine. So when now the gland is super swollen, when it's over swollen, of course it will block the urethra. And when it blocks the urethra, it means then you'll not be able to pass the urine. And if you'll not be able to pass the urine, you are likely to develop a kidney infection, because of course the urine is toxic and it needs to come out. If it doesn't come out, the logical thing is that you most likely will have a bacterial infection or whatever infection, which can go up to the kidneys. And that is why, my brothers and sisters, we need to have to take action whenever we have a swollen prostate gland. Most men tell me, I am scared to go to hospital. What if they will do surgery and get rid of my fertility and all these things? I will tell you, don't be scared, because when we catch it early, when the doctor will be able to see it has not progressed, we can be able to reverse it. Either sometimes they will do the watchful waiting. They'll just wait and watch how it goes, because maybe it's not too much. They will be able to look at your diet, and will be able to do the physical activity, and will be able to help the gland to calm down on its own. The problem comes when you wait and wait and wait and wait, and then you go to hospital when now it's too swollen. That time, the only treatment that the doctor will talk about is surgery. And there are different types of surgery depending on your age, depending on the size of how swollen the prostate gland is, and depending on also even any other underlying medical condition. So the doctors have a variety of surgeries, and I have seen successful surgeries. So do not be scared. I know most of us are scared of going to hospital at that because they think, oh, maybe I'll be told it's cancer. But you would rather know, because imagine, just think about it. When it's early, it will be treated and you will get well. So now you are seated there and you're wondering, Carol, you're telling me about this swollen prostate gland, but I'm not sick, I'm young, I've not had this problem. So how can I prevent that whenever I get to that age, I'll not experience this? I will tell you simply, very simply, just your diet. 2, there's nothing much you can be able to do to predict. Like, you cannot say so-and-so got a swollen prostate gland because they did or did not do this. So it is two-way. You cannot predict, but you can also take care of yourself. How do you take care of your diet? Make sure that your diet is rich in zinc, because your reproductive health as a man is in need of zinc for the semen production, for the sperm production. And I would want to invite you to our Zoom session where we talk in details. When we talk these things in details, and we'll be able to look at what are the foods that are rich in zinc. Also, if you visit my Facebook account, my Instagram account, Carol Your Health Coach, I'm sure you will be able to get and grasp all this information from there. I keep sharing as much information as possible, and so maybe most likely you will be able to learn what foods are rich in zinc. At the same time, engage in physical activity when you are young. Let the blood flow, be consistent. When you are young, when you're old, you will feed on what you did when you were young. So that's why we say be active. Now, let's talk about this myth that I've had out here. People say that you get prostate cancer or prostate gland issues because you're not having sex frequently. I have no idea whether you've had that. By frequently, I don't know, because frequency depends on different people. I have had so many people say they got prostate cancer because they were not sexually active. I beg to differ. Though the myth has some percentage of truth in it, because we have said this is where the semen production takes place and you need to ejaculate. Of course, think of it. Just think about it. If you have a car, every once in a while when we take it to the service, what do? We empty the old oil and put new oil so that we can take care of our engine. Am I communicating? So when sperms and semen is produced and it does not come out, it means then it will have some delays, and then you will have some issues, but that is not 100% the cause of swollen prostate gland. Tune into this channel and let us know the Zoom login details, and let us have this conversation in our Zoom session. Help me understand, and I will help you understand. Go to our comment section. Tell me what you think before we have our Zoom session. What do you think about this myth? What have you heard about this myth? How can we talk? How can we have this conversation and verify? I will engage someone for our Zoom session who can scientifically explain this so that we can be able to understand this further. Some people will ask me, what are some of the simple things that I can do to help to keep up a healthy prostate gland? Drink enough water, because you need water. Your semen is a big percentage is water. You need water. Your sperms, your flow, everything. And eat leafy vegetables. They'll be able to give you the vitamins, the nutrients that you need, and you'll feel good. And take foods rich in zinc, potassium, and sodium. But everything I'm talking about, take in moderation. Okay? Do your physical activity, maintain a healthy mental state, and maintain a healthy weight. And that is all that you need. I remind you to please, my viewer, subscribe to my channel. Let us learn together. Let us learn how to get healthy and stay healthy with Caro, your health coach, as we rejuvenate nature's beam. That is it for today. And I know I have left you with questions. I would want to hear your answer on the myth that we have just talked about. And I would want to see you on Zoom when we'll be talking in details about the prostate gland. As always, as I sign off, I tell you that you can reach me on my WhatsApp number 0711 621563, on WhatsApp 0711 621563. You can also write an email, cnganga00@gmail.com. I'm always happy to have you, and I'm looking forward to the next episode where we will be talking about a different topic. Remember, you can suggest the topics you would want us to talk about on our comment section, on our WhatsApp number. Tell us, what would you want us to talk about it? Thank you so much. God bless you. See you. Bye-bye.